Alright, how's it going? This is Ketchup here, and it's another one of our Mortal Kombat 1 character tutorials. A lot of people have been asking for Rain, and they kind of want to know, how does this character work? Because I will admit, he's a bit strange, he's unlike any appearance he's had previously. You kind of need to look into him now as a brand new character, and with that, treat him as a brand new character, because what he does now is very, very different. We're going to go straight in for what his moves are, mostly the strings first of all. He has standing 1. This is a really fast button and it's good for anti-air as well. It goes into 112 and it goes into 114. 114 is special cancelable, which means that you can do various moves into it. Various uses for that. Most of the time you'll be doing things like 114, maybe into a Geyser or something similar. But it's a very, very simple string. The 112 has a lot of good pushback on it if the opponent's blocking. Let me go quickly and set the block to automatic. From this point, 112 just has lots of pushback, and at this distance it's still pretty good for Rain in general. His down 2 is a decent uppercut, it's got big range, and it has a big hitbox on it. This is good for anti-air once again, and thanks to being able to do your jump cancelling off a counter hit, it can work as a situational full combo. But again, not something you're going to be doing all the time. His main buttons, the ones you want to use a lot. Forward 2-1. Forward 2-1 is a mid-starter, and it's hit confirmable into a full combo. If forward 2-1 were to land on its own, you get a launch. EX down back 1 is going to be your main launcher, if you have meter to spend, and no cameos to convert from. This is really useful because forward 2-1-3 is the ender, and there is a low. The second hit is a low, which you can call in some cameos for somewhat of a mix-up. Some players can react to it, some can't, but it's something for you to keep in mind. Scorpion's forward cameo is an overhead, which is why I used it just then. Now, this being used as a hit confirm is really useful because, boom, jump in launcher, hit him on the ground into a Geyser, really decent damage, and again, that is without cameo. So, a really good string to use in general. Another good string is 2-1-1-2. Looks really over the top, and I guess it is. 2-1-1 is a weird string because you can't do 2-1 and have it come out. You have to do 2-1-1 for both hits. However, the first hit there can be cancelled, so you can do that into something. You just have to get used to doing 2-1-1 and just... that's what you have to do. 2-1-1 and then whatever you want to do afterwards. The 2-1-1-2 is just a cheeky ender. However, there is a gap on that final hit, so be careful for armored reversals. Outside of that, Rain has other moves. The back 2. This is a low, which is going to catch someone if they're not paying attention. Being able to combo from this low is space dependent. If I'm point blank and try and do back 2 into EX launcher, it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. If you're at max range, you get a much better launch from it. So you kind of have to kind of keep that max range in your head if you're looking to enforce it. And having a low is useful because on top of this, Rain has forward 3-2. This is a double overhead. It's not unsafe on block. However, it's something that can catch people if they're not paying attention. This is incredibly slow on startup. However, it does hit people. I've hit people with it. I've been hit by it. So it's one of those moves that at the absolute highest level, this might not hit consistently, but it is a threat to stick out there if the opponent isn't paying attention. Now, I think we've covered the majority of the useful strings here. Rain, when it comes to his buttons, is best played at this kind of sweep distance, right? You're looking to put the threat of forward 2-1 constantly in the opponent's head, because if this lands, it's a full combo, it's not unsafe on block, and it kind of, even on its own, forward 2-1 on block, you kind of stay at this distance that can still work out for Rain. His down 3 has really good range. His down 1 isn't too bad either. And in regards to his single pokes, I have to say, you don't really want to use his down 4 too much. This has basically no range. It's a bit deceiving because obviously he uses his staff, but even at this range, like, it missed. So if you're looking to poke at someone with a ranged button, do not use down 4. Use down 3 or down 1. Down 3 having your greatest distance. On top of that, his sweep, back 4, this has really good range on it as well, and again, has pushback that if it lands at this distance, Rain is still at a distance where he can do something. So they're the basics of the buttons. Let's talk about his special moves. The specials are what really exaggerate him as a ranged character, but again, matchups and cameos will shift the moves that you want to use. Back forward 1 is a projectile. It's a pretty decent projectile. Yes, it's slow. However, it's active for quite a long time. If someone tries to jump over it and they hit the back end of this projectile, it can still hit them. And it's not going to happen all the time, but when it does, it's useful. Outside of that, down, down, up. This is a diagonal projectile, and you can command different distances. You simply hold, regular, you do close, you do far. It's generally really, really useful for that ranged game, and it's one of your main full-screen projectiles. While talking about projectiles, the Geyser is also a move that you really want to get used to using because you have a close version and you have a far version. Now, you cannot go full screen with this, but at that kind of jump distance, it can catch an opponent off guard. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but some Kameos can turn that into a full combo. There's a reason I'm playing Scorpion for this tutorial. Outside of that as well, armor. EX Geyser is an armored reversal. It is your armored reversal as Rain, and again, with the right cameo, this armored reversal can turn into a full combo. It scales a lot, but something like Scorpion's Hellfire, his up flame, the up direction, I have to really say, is the one you want to do, because Scorpion appears the other side of them, and that's where the full combos come from. It scales a lot, but being able to get a full combo off of your armored reversal is a very, very dangerous tool to have if you're going to play Rain in this game, because you want to keep distance. If someone closes in the gap or does something that you can interrupt with armor, Scorpion has now just given you a full combo for it. Now, he certainly isn't unique in that case. He's just a really good pick for this character in general. The other projectile I haven't mentioned yet is Back Forward 4, a whirlpool. Now, this is pretty slow on startup. However, the second it hits the floor, they will be launched. If they get hit by it, of which it hits as a low, the opponent gets launched, and it's basically Combo City. Again, you go for an air juggle, you finish it with whatever you want. By the way, when it comes to his air strings, the two strings you want to look at the most is his jumping 3-2, because that starts from a jump kick, and jump kicks are historically harder to anti-air than regular jump-in punches. This one goes for a knockdown. In the corner, you can combo. Mid-screen, not so much, but there's a lot of plus frames. So you can set something up. You can go for either his portal, you can stick out one of these low whirlpools, whatever you want to do, really, the choice is yours. The main combo air string is 2-4-3. If I launch someone, jump in 2-4-3, it has a ground bounce. That ground bounce is going to let you combo as they hit the floor. A really basic combo will be you launch someone, jump in 2-4-3, regular Geyser on its own. You can squeeze in a standing 1 or the first hit of a standing 2, but it depends on the combo gravity. If lots of hits have been done already, there's a higher chance of the button dropping and you being punished for the Geyser if it misses. Going in for the Geyser on its own is nice and consistent, and you haven't really got to worry about it. Rain's general game plan, though, this is where the matchups can really determine how you play this character. If I'm full screen, the main moves you're going to be using is this, because it goes full screen, and this, because again, it goes full screen. You will notice, though, that there is a rather chunky startup on both of these attacks, and if the opponent throws even a single projectile back at you, you're going to get hit, and these moves aren't going to do anything. This is why the different cameos can help you as Rain. Rain having, the threat of the forward throw as always. His back throw is decent because the range it puts you at is a range that he wants to be at. Again, this kind of mid-distance, which he seems to excel at. But we've talked about the moves, and we've talked about the strings. What does Rain do for damage? Everything stems from launching them into his air juggles. The 2-4-3, I'll do a single hit, a standing 2, Geyser, a very easy combo, something that you can learn it really in a matter of minutes. And as long as you have this launch path of this juggle, this end, you can turn any launch Rain has into this damage, and it's pretty good for what it is. This is where the cameos come into play. I play various cameos. I think a nice base level to start with can be Scorpion. Reason being, as I said, Geyser into up cameo into up fire is a combo. Anytime you hit Geyser, Scorpion turns it into a combo and you can finish. Any launch at all, you can do Scorpion cameo, another launch into a Geyser. I mistimed it there, but if I hit it, it would have been just short of about 40%. So very, very good damage. If I hit my reversal, call it Scorpion, launch, Geyser, give me the damage. Again, it scales, but I'm comboing off an armored reversal, so who cares? I think Scorpion can help you in general though, because the back cameo to send you back to a safe distance where you can continue the zoning can really help him. Instances where you might go low, like forward 2-1 has a low in it, you can call in Scorpion to do forward 2 overhead. It's death on block, so be careful. But on hit, you can just do things very simple. You know, if it hits by itself, you can go Scorpion, forward 2-1 into Geyser. Very, very simple stuff, and I'm fairly certain you can still call in Scorpion cameo at the end of that if you wanted to get some extra damage. But this is kind of the base that you're working with. I'm at distance, and I'm establishing these different projectiles at the opponent, and I'm really keeping an eye out for good buttons to poke with, and a reversal Geyser, which is not the best armored reversal in the game, I must admit. It has a tendency to miss on a lot of opponents. If they do leave the ground, it misses quite consistently. You have to be careful for wake-up jumps, but if someone jumps, you have the anti-air standing 1. You know, if I set the opponent to movement, let's go jump forward, they'll normally obviously do an attack off the back of this, but it's a pretty big button, is this standing 1, as you can clearly see. So you get various different anti-airs, and all of the anti-airs push you back at the distance you want to play at, where you can start to turn things into combos, knock the opponent down, and go back to this magic range. Down 2's a good anti-air, standing 1's a good anti-air. It's all not too shabby. However, there are some moves that I didn't necessarily mention, and the reason for that is because I actually want to change my cameo and talk about some different gameplay that you can establish. I've been playing various cameos. I think Serena can work quite well with Rain, you know, unironically I suppose. I know she's extremely popular, but she has access to the forward cameo, which is a fast projectile with fast recharge. He can get good damage from her double knife toss. However, with all the cameos that I'm enjoying the most, I have to say Sub-Zero is the main one, and I gotta give shout-outs. I mean, I fought an opponent on Xbox last night who absolutely annihilated me with this combo, and I'll show you why. I've been playing it myself, and it's easily the most fun I've had so far. It just gives you a massive, massive amount of utility. Utility that helps him in instances where he might have his weakness. Again, I'll keep the opponent to auto-block just in case I need to show that. But what is the weakness of Rain? His biggest weakness is he's a zoner, but he risks being outzoned. This is slow. This is slow. Startup of this is slow. All of this will lose to projectiles. The final moves that Rain has that I need to highlight is forward, down, back 4. Half circle, essentially, is a water shield. This water shield will protect you from projectiles for a set time, but it doesn't last very long. And I think also, it's quite obvious what you're doing, right? You're in this state because you're going to throw projectiles. An opponent is going to use that as an opportunity to maybe get in there. A bonus is that Rain is kind of having his vision covered in this state, so you can sit there and maybe down 2 someone if they try and jump in, but it's not going to be your one-size-fits-all solution. A solution is Sub-Zero's Ice Armor cameo. This is mostly designed, you would think, to deal with getting in on zoners. If you are a keep away character and you have this, you no longer trade with your projectiles. If I have this Ice Armor, they can no longer contest with the range that I'm establishing on the screen, and now they have to respect it, and it totally changes up the pace. Rain starts to thrive as a zoner if he has the Ice Armor, and now you can no longer trade against him, which is normally one of his biggest weaknesses. What Sub-Zero also allows is for meterless confirms. You can meterlessly go for the whirlwind. You can just end it however you want and get good damage without having to spend meter. Anytime you hit something, we call in Sub-Zero, we go for the whirlpool, we do the jump, we finish it with a Geyser, and it's just damage I wasn't going to get otherwise. Normally, he's very meter intensive. Even things like 2-1-1, if you see the first hit connect, you can turn this into a full combo meterlessly. If you want to spend meter, of course, you can just do forward 2-1, EX launch, and you can get yourself a full combo without having to really worry about it. This freeze extends so much more, however, and gives you bigger combo pathing than you would have imagined. If I were to hit a launch here, I'm going to hold forward in cameo right now, dash in, charge projectile for the stun, neutral jump, knock him down, set up a portal, set up a whirlpool, whatever I want to do. This kind of combo is a lot trickier than you would have done before. However, It is so much more worth it because of the damage and the situations. If I want to side switch here, Rain has the ability to do his standing 4 roundhouse. Again, something I haven't mentioned before, because now it becomes prominent. There are a lot of cameo combinations where Rain is realistically not going to get charged projectile. He's not going to get charged standing 4. They're just too slow and it can't be done. But with someone like Sub-Zero, you can take any launch now, do your juggle, forward cameo, forward dash, charge up your back forward 1, charge your super kick, finish the combo, whatever you want, and I just got a side switch on demand, and it's all incredibly useful. If you're doing something on block and you want to get lots of pushback, back cameo, the cold shoulder, loads of pushback on that. But I will say, with this matchup, it's the ice armor and the forward freeze that Rain wants to use the most. And a reason for that is just so much combo potential. It gives you damage, it gives you setup. The forward dash, by the way, eliminates that immediate wind-up time of a projectile traveling, which means that you can get combos like this, and the chance of dropping it goes a lot lower. Overall, with the complete package, Rain is this really dangerous ranged character if he has the right cameo that can pair with him. If you want to get yourself big combos, cameos that can allow for these combos to exist can really help you, but fundamentally, Rain wants to be able to use as many of his specials as possible. Some cameos are going to allow him to set them up easier, some aren't really going to do much for him. So, characters like Serena as an absolute base, but I suggest moving on quite quickly because the utility of Scorpion, the utility of Sub-Zero, I've seen other combinations with him too. I've seen Cyrax provide this character a ton of useful tools. You just need to make sure you've got the right combination. And hopefully, this video was able to help you as a base. This has been an introduction to Rain, a character many people have been asking about. And if you have any more questions, by all means, chuck a comment in the YouTube section of this video, and I'll do my best to answer you. But I really like doing these tutorials, especially at this level. You know, everyone's picking brand new characters and they just want to know what the deal is. And although I can't play the entire cast, there are some characters that I've been having a lot of fun with, and Rain is definitely one of them. Cheers for watching. Make sure you stick around for more Mortal Kombat content to come, and I will see you next time. Take care.